Industry, businesses, Canadians, yeah, they are anxious and they are concerned. They don't deserve the uncertainty that. We are looking for the best deal for Canada. We are only going to accept the best deal for Canada. That is very much informed.
Canada just shocked the world, and they didn't even flinch. That was the message sent loud and clear by Prime Minister Mark Carney, delivered with icy confidence as Washington circled July 31st. Ready to hit Canadian exports with a brutal 35% tariff. Steel, auto parts, softwood lumber, over $35 billion on the line. But something unexpected happened. Canada didn't back down. Carney drew a line in the snow. No deal is better than a bad one. A stunning reversal of roles. The U.S., once the champion of free trade, was now threatening its closest ally, and polite, pragmatic Canada said enough. This fight goes beyond trade. It's about power, dignity, and the cost of independence. With 2.3 million Canadian jobs hanging in the balance, the question isn't what Trump will do. It's how far Canada is willing to go. Because when the smaller neighbor stands up to the bully, it doesn't just shake diplomacy. It cracks the illusion of dominance. Let's break it down in today's video. Note, this video is an independent analysis based on public sources. It does not represent any organization or political stance. We encourage you to think critically and share your thoughts in the comments. July 22nd, 2025. In Huntsville, Ontario, a sleepy vacation town turns into a fortress. Behind closed doors, Carney meets with leaders as Washington pushes ahead with its 35% tariff threat. Nearly all Canadian exports targeted. Trump loves this kind of disruption. But Carney isn't rattled. He watches the clock, assesses the risk, and delivers his answer. We won't sign a bad deal. He's not bluffing. A former Bank of England governor turned national leader. Carney knows the game. And he knows desperation is the enemy of a good deal. Standing before his team, he doesn't speak in slogans. He speaks with strategy. Even if it costs billions, we walk. And provincial leaders are watching. Doug Ford, Danielle Smith, Francois Legault, they're not cheering. But they're not opposing him either. Because they know what's at stake. $14 billion in steel, $23 billion in autos, $6 billion in lumber. Over 2 million jobs. This isn't just economics, it's sovereignty on the line. Canada chooses to brace for impact instead of caving in. But what does a bad deal really mean? And why is Carney ready to take the hit? Picture a boxing match. Trump walks in with brass knuckles and chaos. Carney walks in with discipline, numbers, and a cold game plan. Trump's tariff threat isn't negotiation, it's coercion. Steel, lumber, auto parts, fertilizers, even energy, targeted unless Canada votes a certain way, shifts production, or plays by his rules. That's not trade, it's economic blackmail. Carney sees it. And he's ready. We won't accept a deal at any cost, he tells the country. And it's not just talk. Yale's budget lab warns these tariffs could slash Canada's long-term economy by 2.1%, a deeper hit than any other nation. And that's before Canada fires back. Meanwhile, 2.3 million Canadians rely on U.S.-bound exports. Carney doesn't just mention stats. He looks Ford and Smith in the eye. Your provinces, your families, your livelihoods. This is what we're defending. This isn't bluff. It's a calculated move. He's betting the U.S. can't squeeze Canada without hurting itself. And behind closed doors, the premiers agree. Quietly, cautiously, they're ready to push back too. The real twist? Trump's turned this entire negotiation into theater. But Carney won't clap, won't play. He's here for real terms, not headline deals. And maybe that's Canada's path. Pay the tariffs, hold the line, and prove that standing tall is worth more than signing away control. They tried to break Canada, but instead, Canada just rewrote the rules. When the U.S. tried to scare Canada with tariffs, Canada didn't flinch. It took the threat, turned it into a plan, and flipped the script. From Huntsville's secret summit to Ottawa's boardrooms, Carney rolled out a bold new direction. Canada isn't dodging punches, it's building a future-proof economy. It starts with Bill C-5, the One Canadian Economy Act. Passed on June 26, 2025, this isn't your average law. It merges free trade, labor mobility, and infrastructure into one sweeping reform, designed to tear down internal trade barriers and launch megaprojects like pipelines, rail, ports, and mining with speed. Carney made campaign talk into action. Coast to coast, provinces now recognize each other's standards. Major national projects get fast-tracked in half the time. And a new federal office exists for one thing only, getting big projects built. Meanwhile, premiers like Doug Ford and Danielle Smith signed deals to build pipelines with Ontario Steel, rail for critical minerals, and coastal ports. All without waiting on Washington. The message? No more begging. Canada is building its own supply chains, with Canadian steel and Canadian labor. And here's the twist, Trump's tariffs, meant to isolate, sparked a Buy Canadian boom. Over 80 countries reached out to Ottawa for new trade talks. Carney's team believes this could drive a $200 billion boost to GDP if provincial barriers fall. This isn't just policy, it's strategy. While the U.S. rants over steel, Canada quietly builds resilience. The message is simple. We're not playing your game anymore. Some First Nations leaders argue Bill C-5 skipped real consultation. Lawsuits are coming. But Carney didn't back down. His answer? The future needs fast, unified, unapologetic action. Canada isn't backing off. It's laying bricks for a self-sufficient future, policy by policy, pipe by pipe. It's not just surviving the tariff war. It's leading through it. And now the world is watching. With over 80 countries calling Canada, what started as U.S. aggression is turning into a global invitation. Canada isn't just reacting. It's becoming the stable partner others want to work with. Carney's phone won't stop ringing. While Trump threatens, Canada offers something rare, predictability. As the Wall Street Journal notes, this isn't noise. It's a slow strategic shift away from U.S. dependency toward Europe, Asia, even Africa. Thanks to Bill C-5, Canada's building pipelines with its own steel, shipping minerals on domestic rails, and upgrading coastal ports. Yes, some Indigenous leaders walked out, saying the process felt rushed. But Carney's bet is clear. Economic survival can't wait. And here's the irony. What was meant to hurt Canada may be its biggest opportunity. Business Insider suggests these tariffs might actually be a blessing, boosting homegrown industry and global reach. At the G7, Carney didn't shout. He didn't grandstand. He just moved the pieces, quietly positioning Canada as a calm force while the U.S. throws tantrums. Canada isn't just defending itself. It's leading, building alliances, writing a new playbook where strength means connection, not control. So what now? Canada went from drawing lines in the snow to answering calls from around the globe. But the finale? That's still coming. It plays out in 3 possible ways. Scenario 1. Full tariffs, no deal. August 1st hits. The U.S. slams 35% tariffs on Canadian exports, steel, autos, lumber. Canada hits back. Up to 2.3 million jobs at risk. But Buy Canadian becomes policy, not just pride. Bill C-5 kicks into high gear. The U.S. fires the shot. Canada builds a new economy with it. Scenario 2. A temporary truce. G7 pressure makes Trump pause. Talks drag on. Uncertainty chills investment. Yale's Budget Lab predicts U.S. GDP drops up to 0.8 points, costing up to 600,000 American jobs. Meanwhile, Canada diversifies. Energy from Russia, machinery from Europe, markets in Asia, slowly weakening U.S. influence. Scenario 3. A deal, but at what cost? A last-minute agreement lifts tariffs, but at a price. Canada may lose leverage and global credibility. It's peace, but not power. In the end, it's more than trade. It's about independence. It's about not being bullied. It's about building, while others break down. And right now, Canada's blueprint is starting to look like a model for the future. They tried to corner Canada, but we didn't blink. This isn't about chasing deals. It's about chasing dignity. Mark Carney's message was bold. Canada won't trade its sovereignty for access. When trade is weaponized, standing your ground becomes the strongest move. This isn't just about surviving tariffs. It's about rewriting the rules. Canada is done playing defense. The message? We're not for sale. Now the real question. Should Canada hit back or stay cool and rebuild? If the US pushes, do we push back or walk away stronger? Let us know what you think in the comments. After all the threats and drama, here's what happened. A prime minister stood tall, a superpower threw a tantrum. And Canada showed what real strength looks like, not loud words, but quiet resolve. While Washington dealt in ultimatums, Ottawa made new rules. Carney didn't just say, no deal is better than a bad deal. He lived it. Pressure became policy. Isolation became innovation. Yes, there's risk. The Canadian Parliamentary Budget Office warns a full-blown trade war could cost over 180,000 jobs by 2026. But surrendering dignity? That cost doesn't fit on a spreadsheet. And the US? It's not looking any better. American families could lose $2,700 a year thanks to rising costs. So who really wins here? This isn't just a numbers game. It's about national identity. Do we stay silent to keep markets? Do we bow for a few billion? Carney made his choice with steel rails, new ports, and a plan that says, we walk when the price is too high. So here's the question that really matters. What's the price of dignity? And are we still willing to pay it? Let us know in the comments. Should Canada stand firm or back down? This was just the beginning. Hit that subscribe button and buckle up. Digital Garage has so much more in store.